Picture this. You're out on a field, stumbling. You feel the reeds as you pass by them. The clinging and clanging of swords heard, mixed by the yelling of those fighting. You fall to the ground, eyes close. You wake up later to find it snowing. You look up at the sky and watch as the snowflakes fall onto you. And as you take your last breath, you think, wow, isn't this just beautiful? And there you go, passed away peacefully in a field of snow. Or how about this? You've landed safely on English lands. You travel through the lands, fighting battle after battle. You finally have some downtime. You believe you're safe. You and the army cross a bridge. Everything seems well until you hear the thunderous roar of 15,000 English soldiers. They charge at you and something snaps. You turn and face the 15,000 soldiers on the bridge, and you cut down each one that is placed in front of you. You take some damage, but something within you won't stop. You're like a berserker. You continue to take every man you see down until you look down to see that there's a spear that's been pierced right through you. How, do you wonder? The English went under the bridge and stabbed through the bridge. You fall to the ground, slowly losing consciousness. You watch as they walk over you and towards your army and your people. You tried. You really did. Took down 40, but it just wasn't enough. I could keep going, fighting a big bad while everyone cheers you on, or even in some milder scenarios such as just smashing ice on the ground. People on the internet call this the masculine urge. These scenarios that I've just read out to you are the ways that men nowadays picture themselves. Minus, obviously, dying on the ice. I was talking more so about, Blaze of Glory or Death in a Quiet Field. Now, that last story I read out was actually real. Quick history lesson for those watching. In 1066, at the Battle of Stamford Bridge, the English caught the Norwegians off guard, and apparently this one Norwegian dude just was not having it. He stood on that bridge and took down 40 men before the English grew their brains and stabbed him from under the bridge. Now, this psychological effect of the masculine urge, if it seems to be universal between everyone. Just go ask any man on the street or even on the internet, and they'll reply with something that I've just mentioned. So why? Why are men so obsessed with the idea of self-sacrifice? Simple. However, it may be for different reasons depending on the person. For some, it may be a form of escapism from their boring lives. For others, it may feel like it gives them a sense of purpose, something to look forward to. After all, according to statistics, they say that 50% of men long for a bigger, better purpose in their lives. For others, it just may make them feel happy. I mean, the list just goes on and on. But this doesn't apply to every man. So don't think we're all connected like the symbiotes from the Marvel universe. So I'll go one by one and explain what I mean in more detail. Escapism. We all indulge in escapism. It's a fairly generic and known concept. We all play games, we all listen to music, we all watch films. And it's not just tied to males, it's for both genders. What I mean specifically is the idea of creating fake scenarios in your head, which to be fair is also connected to both genders. But just for today, let's explore the male side of it. I mean, I do it, you probably do it, the mailman that's delivering your mail probably does it. We do these things because of factors in our lives. Maybe it's stress from work, or you have an exam, or you have a presentation and you think, wow, how cool would it be if during the presentation Optimus Prime crashed through the room and said, I need your help defeating Megatron, hop on. There's a T-Rex next to him and you ride it into battle and emerge victorious, and everyone applauds and you're back presenting. Or now, you're a samurai racing into battle on your horses and there's fire everywhere. You spot your rival and begin to unsheath your sword. You both stare each other down for a little bit and then rush in and you're on the toilet. Purpose. So what I mean by purpose is, what and why are you living your life? Being honest with myself, I'm probably part of that 50% who long for a better purpose, but enough about me. This ties in with the masculine urge because we often fantasize about dying in a cool way while having a cause to do so. Whether this is someone, somewhere, or something we love and cherish. And I'm sure you too, have people, places, things that you'd die for, but it still has to be in a cool way at the end of the day. Love and sense of belonging. I briefly touched on this in the purpose section. The idea of dying for something like a better cause or even a person. Us humans, we are a social species, and to us, the people that we cherish, that mean the most to us and mean everything to us, and the thought of dying for them is the complete manifestation of that. To think that our deaths mean something, even anything, is enough for a lot of people in this world, including me. So let me tell you a story. Alexei Ananenko, Valery Bespalov, and Boris Baranov are the three men who bravely went into the Chernobyl disaster days after the initial explosion. On the day of the fire, and in a desperate attempt, firefighters pumped gallons of water into the nuclear reactor in an effort to calm it down. This ended up doing more harm than good, as now the basement had contained these valves which, when turned, would drain the bubbler pools that were below the reactor. These bubbler pools acted as the coolant for the entire plant. In days, molten nuclear material melted through the concrete floor and was making its way slowly to the pools below. Now, if these two had connected, it would create a massive explosion, causing unbelievable damage and potentially the extinction of everything we had built up so far. Now, the only way to stop these two was to drain the correct valves. All three men were equipped with just a flashlight and a wetsuit, and these three madmen somehow did it. They saved millions of lives. Though they didn't fare too well after, their lives meant something. They died so that we could live. Just a quick sidetrack, apparently their bodies were so radioactive, had so much radioactive levels, that they had to be buried in lead coffins, which I just think is really it's scary, but it's really fascinating. Moving on. So while researching this video, I came across a story on Reddit that I think is worth reading out to you. Shout out to Reddit user Where's My Thermos. And you fantasize about this often? The xenopsychologist Dr. Tridner had just started a session with a Terran male client to further study their minds and thought patterns. The topic of fantasies came up, and the male responded with, "Dying in battle to save my loved ones," which was, needless to say, a very unorthodox response. Semi-often, like every now and then, I get lost in thought and this idea comes to my mind. Being in battle where my friends and loved ones are safely away while I stay behind, fending off the insurmountable to buy them just a few more precious moments. The doctor sat on the statement, mulling it over in thought. Does this distress you? Oh no, it's actually kind of comforting, really. Tridner perked up. Comfort in a battle of certain death? Even in a sacrificial way, there was a comfort to this? Do you know if others of your species have these similar thoughts or feelings? Oh, certainly. Every now and again, it comes back like a meme, or a cultural phenomenon, about how a lot of men think this and derive some satisfaction from it. So the patient wasn't just a one-off. This was a common thread. And is it only men? Predominantly, but not exclusively. Dr. Tridner made several notes on this, with a reminder to investigate these same questions with other male patients. This could be a breakthrough into the human psychology, maybe even information that could help understand how voraciously the Terrans fought in the Soul Wars, and their combat prowess in mixed species regiments. The humans were an anomaly, as their fighting tenacity was remarkably high, yet they possessed no natural weapons to back the aggression, only manufactured weapons. Tell me, why is this a comforting thought to you and other males? I understand the nobleness in sacrifice, but you didn't talk about fear. So why? The patient sat forward, resting his chin upon his knuckles and staring deeply into the floor. His brow furrowed and his lips pursed, the stare intensifying as he tried to burn a hole in the floor with just his vision. I don't know. I have an idea, but it's not concrete. I'd like to hear it. He changed to a forward sitting position, removing his hand from his chin and clasping it into his other hand and resting it on his knees. I think it has to do with how important society is to us. Individual humans aren't very good for much. On our planet, very few of us could ever make a life alone. And it's hard work the whole time. Our species thrives on connections, tribes, and groups. I don't think we'd have any ability to be here today if it wasn't for them. Not to say other species in the galaxy or our planet can't or won't do that. But for us, it's the biggest necessity. He sat back in his chair, looking off to the side. So in a sense, it's ingrained in us. To protect the pack, no matter what. Could be a base trait that sits in most humans for evolutionary reasons, or an idea that's just persisted throughout time. But to let oneself die to keep others alive, safe, that's what's important. It matters more to keep the tribe alive and to fight hard for than it is just to keep myself alive. The doctor sat for a moment, casing the patient and his statements. I see. That will be all for today. I mean, protect no matter what is a very cool line in my opinion, but moving on. Throughout this video, I've been almost glamorizing this idea, but this doesn't mean there aren't negatives to this. I feel it falls in with traditional masculinity and what it means to be a man. You must have money, you must have muscles, you must drive 5 different supercars at the same time. These are the values that traditional masculinity holds high, and essentially what it means to be a man. Feelings? What even are those? I don't know that word. We idolize those who have done bad things and want to be like them, do their actions, speak their words, and think, wow, I like him. When in reality, they do horrible things and have committed atrocities. But hey, at least they died in a cool way. I won't express my opinion here, but let me know what you think about these. Examples of these are Wesker, Virgil, Anton Chigurh, Patrick Bateman, and Heath Ledger's Joker. I know some of them don't die, but you get what I mean. But hey, this is just a video by some random 19-year-old you saw on the internet. Let me know how I did and if my points make sense. I used a mixture of research and things I already know from studying movies and games and whatnot. Scripting is very hard, I'm not gonna lie. This is my longest video yet, but we move. I also hope my storytelling skills were good. I'm writing the script before I do the edit, so I hope I have added some voice changes and effects to make them sound like different people for the Reddit story. Speaking of the Reddit story, check it out. They actually have some pretty cool stories on there. I'll hopefully leave a link in the description if I remember. I also like to leave like a minute or two at the end of every video that I make. Serious videos, by the way, not my last one. Just to like speak. No script. Just me and whoever's watching. I like to just tell you guys my thoughts on how I did, how I think I did, and just tell you where I am. So yeah, audio is still a very big issue. I'm not gonna lie. I tried recording this. Well, I have tried recording this 2 other times, but every time I've recorded it, the noise in the background of static and whatnot is just too much. So I'm still continuing with my phone. I'm trying out different editing styles. So the last one was a more of a like gamery, like short form content type of style, and this one's gonna be longer, so like less cuts and less like standing out edits. But I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep going no matter what. Even if my videos get 2 views, 1 view, 5,000 views, 5 million views, I'll keep going no matter what. But that's all been with me. See you on the next one.